Hey, Mercedes.
Hiya, Tommy.
Though video games are loved and adored by many all over the world, some games just took it too far for certain countries to bear. In today's video, we are going to discuss famous games that were banned for the most unbelievable reasons. Whether it is justified or not, you be the judge. Number 10. Dead Rising, Germany. The Dead Rising franchise, which was launched by Capcom, is a very well-loved series. It comes with a strange mix of open-world adventures, over-the-top kills and gore that you can imagine. The first two versions of the franchise were animated to look more cartoon-like. However, owing to the growth in completion and amazing graphics, when Dead Rising 3 came out, it took a step further in its animation game and made the series much more lifelike. It was exactly this that the German officials had a problem with. Imagine your animation being so good that the German officials believe it to be so human-like that they actually decide to ban the game altogether. It is ironic that Germany, which is one of the biggest video game markets, decided to ban the series in not only one but the entire series altogether being too human-like. Number 9. EverQuest, Brazil. You will never believe what this game got banned for in Brazil. Usually games used to get banned for their extra violence in the good old days before they could even be in the market. But now, due to the concept of the ESRB rating system, video games are being more closely monitored and rated more strictly. Since 1994, the ESRB has been keeping a close watch on all of the video game launches, mostly in the US, while other countries may have their own regulating bodies. When it comes to EverQuest, the game was originally in 1999. However, due to regulations in 2007, almost an entire decade later, the game came under fire in Brazil for the simple fact that it lets the player choose to be good or evil. This, according to the officials, is what causes subversion to public order. Number 8. Bully, Brazil. It seems to be a trend with Brazil banning game after game. In 2006, Rockstar's game, Bully, which has been described as Grand Theft Auto Light, is an open-world delinquency simulator that doesn't have as much blood and gore as compared to its counterpart, but retains a bit of a darker tone. The game follows the exploits of a rebellious teenager who is working his way up the social ladder to become the main guy on his school's campus. Seems simple. The game is fun, lighthearted in nature, and shows how private schools actually have the same issues as public schools. A Brazilian judge named Judge Flavio Rebelo, however, was not of the same opinion. He did not approve of the delinquency that was portrayed through the game and feared that children would copy this behavior. So even though the game got a mild T rating by the ESRB, Bully was banned in Brazil. Keep watching to find out more. Number 7. Darksiders, UAE. It is no secret that the UAE are very protective about their people and about their culture. The moment something becomes a threat, they decide to do away with it completely rather than let it fester and deal with any consequences. So when the THQ's game was released in the UAE, it didn't come as a shock when they wanted to ban the game for its religious depictions. What did come as a shock, though, is that they didn't completely ban every version of the game. Even when the sequel was real, no further action was necessarily taken against it. We do not know what caused this, but players were still able to avail of the game digitally. Number 6. Manhunt 2, banned everywhere. Things didn't really look up for this game as it happened to get banned. Well, everywhere. The game is filled with extreme gore, killings, violence, and simulated torture. So the fact that it would get banned in a country would not really come as much of a shock. However, the country was given the red card from countries like New Zealand, Germany, Ireland, and the United Kingdom, which came as a huge shock. These mega video game markets kicked the game out and got it completely banned. This was a massive blow to the game as it completely lost its main market from these countries. It could not sustain longer and therefore went on to be banned by more countries like even Saudi Arabia. Critics say that people did not lose out on much as the game wasn't even as good as the others available on the market. Ouch. Enjoying the video? Stay tuned for more. Number 5. Grand Theft Auto, Thailand. Now this is a surprising one. Life often imitates art, as they like to say, and it is not always bound to be innocent. Kids pretend to be Power Rangers or Spider-Man and Batman when they play around the house. Although these moments seem harmless, they can go too far and lead to calamity. This is exactly what happened with the Thai government when a young man robbed and shot a taxi driver in Bangkok, although it is rather hard to blame games for violence. Following this incident, it was found that the man was in touch with the game Grand Theft Auto and had become overly aggressive, leading to his outburst. To protect the others, the government took the decision to completely ban the game from the country. Number 4. EA Sports MMA, Denmark. You would think this country of the Vikings would rather enjoy a round of MMA. Well, guess again. This mixed martial arts game came under fire in Denmark, but not for the reasons you would think. The game comes with big-name sponsors like Red Bull and therefore had a lot of product placement. Drinks like Monster and Red Bull have always been debated on the effects on people's health. Many European countries have deemed them to be way too harmful. As a result of its incessant product placement throughout the game got entirely banned from Denmark. The country values the health of its people and chooses not to support or allow the viewing of a game that openly supports and encourages these drinks that are unhealthy. Well, we could rather agree with this one because we highly doubt trained, real-life fighters are eating unhealthy and drinking gallons of Red Bull. You won't believe what gets banned next. Number 3. Pokémon Go, Malaysia. When the game was first released, it took the world by storm. People were taking their Pokémon adventures very seriously. This, however, also led to a series of killings with people using the game to lure their victims. Children, as well as adults, started to grow careless when it came to the game and were very easily harmed. It was the Muslim leaders in Malaysia that brought up the issue to high authorities, citing that the game was resulting in revokes and harmful behavior and putting innocent children and their lives at risk. Though the game was initially seemingly harmless, it was used to harm many people, and ultimately it leads to the question if capturing those Pokémon is worth trading your life. Number 2. Mortal Kombat, South Korea. The popular game came under fire in South Korea. Since the beginning of its launch, the game franchise has often come under fire by various censorship groups. It has even released censored versions of the game before its release. It has had trouble in various countries for several reasons, however. In this case, it would seem rather unfair. It was the 9th game that was released under this franchise that came under fire in the country of South Korea. The reasoning behind this was given that it is just excessively violent. Anyone who has played video games knows the amount of violence that ensues in the Mortal Kombat franchise. The name literally suggests it. So it was therefore seen as a double standard by South Korea when the Sega game was released and they decided to ban it. South Korea has many players who often engage in games even more violent than this, and it arose suspicion that perhaps this had been done to sabotage the game, while many video game companies in South Korea were releasing their own games similar to Mortal Kombat. Number 1. Pokémon, Saudi Arabia. Who would ban poor Pikachu? Well, that would be Saudi Arabia. Just like the UAE, the Middle Eastern country is very strict with their rules and stands by them diligently. Though this game has seemingly captured the hearts of millions, the same cannot be said for the country. Saudi Arabia claimed that the game was offensive as it utilized various religious symbols in its game that is against Islam. Also, the game is said to have increased a desire for gambling, which is a big no-no in the country. Well, that's a shame. Well, that's all for today, folks. We hope you enjoyed it. Leave us a comment below. Don't forget to like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel, and do not forget to hit the notification bell so you do not miss another update.